This conference will now be recorded.
Yes.
Jim Montgomery is excused, and Doug Santee.
Stand for the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maybe this would be a good time to welcome our village president, and if you would like to, what do we say, introduce our guest.
Okay, so everybody knows I'm the village president. I want to thank everybody again for serving on this board, very important to our village. And it's been a long time since we've had a meeting, and it's great to see everybody again. So I'd like to now introduce Joel Gregozeski. He is our new village manager. He came to us from Greenville, and I'll let him tell you a little bit.
Yeah, real quickly, and I've heard Tim's EAB presentation tonight. I think this would be the fourth time. So after I introduce myself, I'll let you guys get to the order of business today. No offense, Tim, but I love trees and hate EAB just as much as you. So, in any event, my name is Joel Gregozeski. I grew up in Port Washington, but I've lived in Brown County in this area for the last 15 years. My wife and I, we live out in Howard currently. We have 3 kids that are all school age. Her family is from that Howard-Swamico area, and so that's kind of why we ended up there. Prior to going to Greenville and then eventually making my way to Ashwaubenon, I actually worked for the village of Bellevue. I have a background in parks, recreation, and forestry. I was their park, rec, and forestry director there at that time before I decided to take the next step in my career. So I have a firm understanding of trees, and Tim is, you got an excellent forester here. I routinely kid with Tim that all the great things that I did in Bellevue was because I stole them from Tim. So I took everything that Tim had done and we brought them to Bellevue because Ashwaubenon was such a great forestry program. So thanks again, Tim, for all that advice. You have a great program here, and I have like I said, a sincere appreciation for trees, urban forestry, and the value that it brings to the community because of my experiences in the past. So thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joel. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Did you want to make a speech too? You're okay. Okay, you've seen the agenda. Is there any additions, corrections to the agenda? If hearing none, accept the motion to accept the agenda. I so moved. I'll second. And seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Motion carried. Okay, tree board minutes. Been a long time since we met, but the minutes has been captured beautifully, as they always are. Is there any questions, additions, deletions, comments? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Approve. Second. And seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay. Tree board minutes, we took care of that. Moving right along here now. Yeah. It's up to you, I guess.
6A?
Yep.
6A? Okay. Thank you, Jim. It's been a while since we had a meeting, and it doesn't mean we haven't been busy doing the things that we need to do. We've had a lot of discussion about EAD in the past, and I think this is, I want to bring this back for you guys to review out of respect for the work that you put in into the program, into the policies and things that we've talked about over the years. As they indicated, the village did allocate funding for EAP at the March 2020 village board meeting. So it was right when COVID hit. It was the last, I don't even think it was a normal meeting. I think we were limited to like 10 people or something at that point in time. So at the beginning of the packet, I have page 7, is the proposed budget that was approved by village board for EHD management. It was decided that it would be in our best interest to bond for that funding, similar to the way we do like a road construction project. I don't understand all the process of bonding. That's something that our finance department will take care of. But it's a 5-year project, and you can see the general breakdown of where the funding is going to go, all the different components. In talking with colleagues around the state and communities that have already dealt with EAB, I developed what I hope are going to be fairly accurate price estimates to do a lot of this work. Some of it, it's hard to get prices from other communities and stuff that's unique to your community. So we did the best that we can. The largest component of that is going to be the street and park removal of ash trees. And it's going to be a 3-year project, year 1 being 2021 through 2023 being the last year. So roughly about a third each of those 3 years. We'll be removing about 1,100 street and park trees that are still left. And in 2021, the project areas that we have here, I tried to pick what I thought was the worst neighborhood in my opinion as far as the advancement of EAB. And that was the neighborhood kind of adjacent to 141 on Cantor Lane, the loft apartments in that area. It was pretty advanced compared to some other areas of the village. So I started with that area and then kind of extrapolated that to the entire management area that we had too, which is also kind of the high school, Los Avenger Park. And then looking, and we also had some parks that we have grant funding for tree planting. So Ashwaubenon, Smith Park, and Argonne Park all have funding in a partnership with New Water to do EAB replacement planting. So I prioritized those 3 parks at the top of the list because to do the plantings, we got to get the removals done ahead of time. So as it turns out, once I started looking at the map a little bit bigger, it just made a lot of sense to try to basically do roughly the east side of US 41, based upon where the infestations are, working in management areas 1 through 5 to remove the ash trees, and then some of the parks in addition to the 3 previous mentioned, Canterbury and Fort Howard Park are thrown into that list as well. The one park that I did not put in there is going to be Valley View Park, so that would be the one exception, and we'll have to work through that with the school district. So it's a joint.
Which park was that?
Valley View.
Okay.
Being the joint
What
property.
about Avenger Park? I didn't see that in here.
There are no ash trees at Avenger Park.
Yeah.
But there are street trees around there, so they will be included.
Okay.
Yeah. Within the park itself,
I see.
over the years, we removed all the ash. There are some street trees around the edge.
Yeah.
So they'll be included in that, yes.
Little silver mark.
Just a little side step here. The Hidden Valley Park has got a sign on each corner, Hidden Valley Park.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that think that's a county-owned park. I would,
Really?
sometime in the future, I would suggest that some way or other you add the village of Ashwaubenon on there some way or other.
Okay.
Like Sand Acres Park.
I've never heard it being asked to be a county park.
So there's a lot of people.
Really? Okay.
Same thing when I owned that extra lot by me, there's a lot of people that thought the village owned that, so.
Sure. Okay. So in the packet, you can, I'm not gonna go through the bid specs, these are specs that I wrote. I couldn't really find any that other communities are doing in the Green Bay area. This work really hasn't been done yet. So I wrote these specs, and hopefully they're gonna capture, what we need to do with this project. The early feedback with contractors is they like it, they understand it. So we'll see what happens.
How many contractors are out there available with this in the bid on this?
What did we do? So about 30?
34, I think.
Yeah, we did about 34 different.
How big of an area? Is that like the whole state or is that?
Northeastern Wisconsin, but I've also have developed some professional relationships. At the Arborist conference last year, that was kind of my goal, is to start talking to some of these bigger companies and if they were interested in doing the work in Green Bay in the area. So I sent it to a company in Tomahawk, a couple in Milwaukee area, the bigger ones that might want to travel for a job.
Yeah, it'd be pretty, that's a big enough company that they can handle that many trees, within a time frame.
You said there were 30 contractors that were potential bidders?
I sent it to about 34,
Really?
the bid specs to 34 contractors.
That's an interesting question. I didn't think there were that many tree nuts around.
Wow. And I tapped into some of the ones down in the valley. I actually met one today. He kind of wanted to see some things on site. So I showed him around to a couple of the places. In the maps, the trees for removal are going to be the blue dots. And then the other, as the legend kind of indicates, the other green dots are remaining trees, so basically non-ash trees. The red dots are going to be stumps that we still have to stump grind. So we can print that list and give it to the crews, and we can go out and grind them. And
The tree that's removed already, or this is what the ash tree is now is going to be removed, it's going to be a stump after it's gone.
the black dot,
No, the red dot.
that's where there is currently a stump there
Okay.
that needs to be ground out.
Okay, that's what I meant. There is no ash tree there now.
Nope.
It's just the stump.
So, and if you're looking at Ashwaubenon Park on page 13, you'll see a whole mess of red dots up on the north end. Those were the ash trees that we gladly donated to a habitat project on the river. And they cut them, removed them, no charge, loaded them onto rafts, barges, and put them into habitat structures throughout at 3 different sites on the Fox River. So the deal was we would go back and grind the stumps out at the end. So it was a pretty good partnership.
So are you going to grind those stumps, or is that going to be part of the bid?
No, any existing stumps we'll take care of with our staff. Yeah. I don't know how many are at Ashwaubenon. That's probably about 2 days for the work. By the time if it's nice and dry, we can get those done really quickly.
What's the black dot do?
And the black dots are where we had a tree, it was removed, stump was ground, and it was not replanted.
Okay.
So it's called a removal site or vacated site.
Okay.
So you can kind of see. And then parks, we end up with a lot of those because we don't always plant in the same spot.
We still have joint ownership of a stump grinder with Illinois, is that?
We do.
Yep.
We have joint custody, and the relationship has been going very well. They're good people to work with, and we haven't had any significant issues. It's been working out exceedingly well.
Great.
So the blue dots are once again the sites to be removed, whether they're park trees or street trees. And then at Ashwaubenon or Arborist Park, there's kind of a irregular red blob area. So those are natural areas where there's significant ash trees that will impact the users of the park. So they're going to land either on a walking trail or into the open green space or roadway. If it's an ash tree, it's not going to impact safety and recreation and park users. We're going to leave a lot of those.
Where's Argonne again? Where's Argonne?
Right by Cabela's on Argonne Street, just to the south.
Okay. I was thinking of the one, what's the one that's off of like, going up towards the highway, not off of Cormier, going up, what is that park again? It's pretty good, there's a lot of trees in there too, I don't know if they're any ash trees, but there's a walking trail through it, that's a park. isn't it?
Sherwood Forest?
Sherwood, yeah, Sherwood Forest, that's a park?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of work in there just because of the walking trails.
Yeah, is there a lot of trees in there too, actually?
Yeah,
Oh, there's-
unfortunately.
okay. But that's not enough.
That'd be for another
Persuaded,
time.
right.
Another time. So within these natural areas, we will just be removing the tree and not grinding the stump. I've asked the contractor to treat the stump with an herbicide so it doesn't sprout back. The areas that are marked with blue, they will be removing the tree, disposing of the brush, debris, and logs, and then restoring the site, stump grinding, and planting grass seed. And that holds true throughout the project. So it's
all those trees that we took part in planting in Smith Park, what is it getting to be, 7, 8 years ago? Did all of them make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had maybe 2 or 3 that had a little vandalism to them. So we ended up replacing a few of those, but yeah, they're looking really good. Yeah. And I don't, do you guys have any questions or thoughts?
No, like now you're taking out 1,100 trees, and then you have tree planting. Are you planting 1,100 or not less, or what is would it be like on that,
Yeah, if you look on,
one for one or like one for two, or what are you doing?
we did not allocate money specifically for park tree plantings, because we do have a current budget allocation. We've been getting some Packers first round for trees. There
I
are,
see now, 75%.
Yep. and we got grant opportunities for park trees.
Okay,
So
I see that on here, after I found the sheet, I see that on there.
And that's going to be strictly for residential street trees.
Oh, street trees, okay.
So if we remove a street tree, the homeowner will be given the option to have a replacement tree provided. And the replacements will be done the following year. I just couldn't figure out a way to coordinate a removal crew, a stump grinding crew, a restoration crew, and then try and get a tree planting crew in there too. So they're gonna lag 1 year behind. But my intention is to have them do a spring planting, early summer, rather than waiting to the.
Do we realize any income from the sale of pulp or saw logs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will,
There is,
minimal.
okay, and another question I have, the use of the chips. Is there no danger in propagating the emerald ash borer through the chips?
If it's chipped properly, no.
Okay,
The specifications are that they would like to see it chipped in 1 inch dimensions 2 different ways. And a standard chipper is going to do that if it's adjusted properly. So yeah, the spread of EAB through wood chips is pretty minimal to negligible.
could be a lot of chips.
Yeah. And we're looking at options with that too. I don't have any firm commitments from people yet, but we're continuing to look for at least partnerships with different organizations to hopefully utilize wood
Would
chips.
any of these pallet builders around take any of the bigger logs?
Am I? And then certainly before we ship, haul off the wood for pulpwood is a lot of it. I'll contact perhaps like Ashwaubenon Lumber, which is a buyer in the area. If they're interested in purchasing saw logs, hopefully we can realize a little bit of financial return on it. I didn't budget for it in here. We're certainly going to explore all options, but I didn't put it in just because of the volatility of those kind of markets.
Hello.
Hello.
Tom. I finally got through.
Hi, Tom.
Hello to everyone.
Hello, Tom.
Welcome aboard, Tom.
I misplaced my ID for my Apple and I couldn't find it. So Cat helped me out a little bit. So I'll be listening.
So then once we get all these projects put together and bundled up in little packages, my intent is to have many different projects rather than a single big project. I don't know how many contractors are able to contract and take on such a huge project. So my intent is to try to spread the work among several contractors. And I don't know if that's going to be 2, 3, 4 for this year. Exactly. And there's certainly opportunity for subcontractors and restoration and stump grinding. So there's all kinds of opportunities in here for people. So the first project, if you look on page 25, is going to be all the street trees in management areas 1 through 5. So to make that really simple, it's going to be from US 41 to the Fox River, from Lombardy Avenue down to the village limits with it here. So oversimplify that, but the whole east side of US 41. So it looks like we've got 147 street trees in that area. And then what I'm asking contractors to do is give a per inch price for removal in different classes. Because to remove a 12-inch tree, let's say that price might be $20 per diameter inch, whereas you get up into like a 40-inch tree, like 20 inches or $20 might not cover that on a per diameter inch. So they can certainly increase their prices as the diameters of trees, because as you know, trees grow in 3 directions, so they do get exponentially bigger and not just linearly. And then I summarized how many total inches that we'll have in each of those diameter classes, and we can get a price that way. So it's fairly straightforward, clear cut. It kind of takes the subjectivity out of the process. A contractor certainly could put the same unit price on all diameter classes, and that could be done too. That would be up to them. So that section A is going to be the street trees. Section B is going to be strictly Ashwaubenon Park. So that will be that natural area that we talked about, as well as 51 park trees that we still have left there, and we've probably removed 50 to 75 in that park over the last 10 years already. So we're in pretty good shape there. The third project will be on page 27, Argonne Park. So we'll do something similar. We'll have the inventory trees where they'll grind the stump and you remove the trees. And then there's also just basically on the edge of the woods. We've got the soccer fields in there. Anything that's going to fall into that green space or along the sidewalk that would be a hazard or a liability. We'll take care of that as well. And then the final is just going to be, I just lumped 3 parks together, 3 of the smaller ones, Fort Howard, Smith, and Canterbury, into a single project as well. So my hope is that contractors can bid on 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these different projects, and we'll see where bids come in. Unfortunately, I don't have any local prices, for the Green Bay market, but we'll certainly establish them after this project. We'll kind of know about where they're going to be.
As of right now, there's no other community that's taking them down on this, with this type of bids and that.
Nothing I know of.
Okay, as far as you know, but
Yeah, I mean, the city of Green Bay is doing all theirs in-house. They've got a crew of about 10 guys, full time. So it makes a big difference.
They got a lot of trees to do too.
They do. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's
Okay. So, any questions? Tim, I think you did a super job putting this together.
Yeah.
My goodness. Such a good thing we
Time
had.
will tell.
Very good.
It's excellent.
Time will tell.
A lot of attention paid to detail.
Very good. I think the contractor, get an easy, it's information you're asking for, did he, a lot of questions are answered for him right here.
Sure.
So he was wondering about, he knows how many and the diameter of how many and.
And this kind of shows you the power of GIS, Geographic Information Systems. In our engineering department, we've got somebody that supports all those departments with GIS, and without her support, a lot of this information, the work behind it, I couldn't do, produce these maps and generate the information. So there's, some behind the scenes stuff too that
You drove it, so
other departments have helped us with too.
great.
I do have one question on the very last page. It's under parks. The second, where the second dot is, that's paragraph there about maintenance crews doing ash tree removals and comedy park, blah, blah, blah. Flushing the stumps will occur in spring and early summer. What does flushing the stumps mean?
What page are you on?
Very last page, 35.
Okay. Oh, and the department reports.
Yeah,
Oh,
flushing the stumps, what does that mean?
Oh, I think some of the stumps, when they were doing the removals, they were left kind of high.
Okay.
So I think they'll return. I think actually a lot of them have been done just to bring them down to grade.
That's what I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
I never saw that term before you. So
Yeah. Initially, they cut a lot of them. They just left them up high as they were working
Okay.
through it. And then we've got a lot of them done already, just to bring them back down to grade, so not a tripping hazard.
Okay.
any other questions? Okay, thanks, Tim. And we have a copy of the Park Recreation and Forestry Department on the back of the packet for reading enjoyment. Any other comments about anything other than tree removal?
Any questions on the department reports? Kind of gives you an overview of a lot of the different projects that we have going on. Some of them have been on for a while. It's nice to wrap up a couple of the bigger projects. One of the bigger ones was at the Cornerstone Ice Center. We created kind of reconfigured a plaza on the west side of the building to make it more user-friendly and easier to maintain for our crews. But basically we created a pass-through from that north parking lot to the south parking lot where you can go from one parking lot to the other. In years past, you either had to, people would just jump the curb and kind of do it illegally, or you have to go around. So that was a really big project out at the Cornerstone that was completed last October. I think November by the time we put the railings and stuff up.
Any items you wish to discuss at the next meeting, whatever it may be? And I'm not being critical. We don't have anything to meet, or we don't have to come and meet.
This is true.
But it's nice to see everybody again.
Yeah. Even if we're all masks.
So if there are no,
I'm just glad I'm here yet.
I guess it'd be interesting to know something, like after we get bids and just to know kind of how many you got and what's happening, what, like when they plan on starting and how many you're gonna have, and is that information that you could
Absolutely.
put out there?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that bid will be going to the February Park Board and then Village Board, I think the 23rd, for their consideration. So at that point in time, the contract could be awarded and they could potentially start anytime after that, which
great, that's a good point. Would be kind of interesting to know where this is gonna go.
yeah, I'll do a bid summary and then
It's such a big project, just something that's gonna be done in a week or a year even, so
Yeah.
3 years to figure that. I'd be interested to know if we're gonna be 2 or 1 or 3 contractors, how many's gonna be working at one time, it'd be ideal if you got several of them, but you only plan on taking down fund wise, so many a year anyway, right? Just what you got here,
Yeah,
even if they're, takes them only a month or if they got 2 or 3 doing it. I mean, you're still not gonna take down the mark what you got specified here this year, right? And the next year would be, say 2022 would be the next group of them.
we do have the opportunity to add additional work upon mutual agreement of both parties.
I mean, for funding, how much are you bonding, like the whole thing to start with, or just as you need, funds, like get bonded out for this year, and next year, or how?
So I think the money is bonded for several years.
Okay.
I don't know that the full amount was bonded all at once, just because of the time frame of it. I don't know that 100% for sure.
Super. Anything else?
Can't remember, Tim.
Okay.
I think we did bond more than this amount though. So I think that there are some funds above and beyond what this is that that I'd have to clarify with Greg though.
Yeah.
Oh, there's amounts that are in here, is that just for this year's amount? Or is
No,
it-
that's the entire
That's the whole
project.
village, right? That's the whole village.
Yeah.
For the 3 years.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So
Motion made, seconded, all in favor, aye.
I,
Thank you, Mary, for joining us tonight. Sue, thank you always for
Thanks for having a meeting.
Capturing our-
Nice to see everyone.
question for
and
you.
our special photographers.
Mother's gonna build the.